Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open your spice rack to uncover a pretty amazing partnership. It's one that can take one of the world's most famous spices from being, well, almost useless, to a biological powerhouse. Let's get into it.
So, let's start with a puzzle, a real head-scratcher. For literally thousands of years, turmeric has been this legendary spice known for its incredible health benefits. But here's the wild part. When you actually eat it, your body barely absorbs the one compound that makes it so special in the first place. In this whole puzzle, it all comes down to one critical idea: bioavailability. See, this is the core problem we have to solve today. It's not really about what you eat. It's about what your body can actually absorb and put to use. And for turmeric, that number is shockingly, almost laughably low. Okay, so let's meet the hero of our story. This is curcumin. It's the main active compound inside turmeric. It's what gives the spice that brilliant, vibrant yellow color. And, it's the source of all those celebrated anti-inflammatory and antioxidant powers. But this hero has a secret, a fatal flaw. And right here, you can see this huge gap between its potential and the reality. In a lab, in a test tube, curcumin is an absolute superstar. It shuts down inflammation, it boosts our antioxidant defenses. But inside the human body, totally different story. It's hydrophobic, which basically means it hates water, so it just can't get absorbed. Most of it passes right through you, completely unused. Okay, let's dig into that. Why is our body so incredibly good at rejecting curcumin? Well, it turns out we have this highly effective three-part defense system that stops it dead in its tracks. It really is the perfect storm of defenses. First, because it hates water, it can barely get through the wall of our gut. Second, any tiny little bit that does sneak in gets immediately grabbed by the liver and basically tagged for disposal. And third, and this is my favorite part, our cells have a literal bouncer, a protein that actively finds any curcumin that's left and just kicks it right back out. Game over. So the situation seems pretty hopeless for our hero, right? But what if the key to disabling this entire sophisticated defense system was sitting right there in your kitchen cabinet, probably right next to the turmeric? All right, let's bring in the sidekick that completely changes the game. Meet piperine. Piperine is the active compound in black pepper. It's what gives it that sharp, peppery bite. And as it turns out, it's not just a flavor molecule. It's a master key. Piperine has this brilliant three-part plan. First, it goes to the liver and tells it to stand down. It directly shuts down the process that tags curcumin for disposal. Second, it basically ties up that cellular bouncer so it can't go around throwing curcumin out. And finally, it even makes the intestinal wall a bit more permeable so the curcumin can get through in the first place. It just systematically dismantles every single one of the body's defenses. It's amazing. We know piperine helps, but the real question is, how much? Are we talking about a small little improvement, or is it something more? Well, the science on this is actually pretty dramatic. 2,000%. Yeah, that's not a typo. The groundbreaking human study on this exact combination found that adding just a little bit of piperine from black pepper increased curcumin's bioavailability by 2,000%. So what does a number that big actually look like? Well, it's a 20-fold increase. This combination takes a compound that was practically invisible to your body and makes it powerfully present in your bloodstream. It is the absolute definition of synergy. Okay, so we've unlocked this incredible power. But, as you know, with great power comes great responsibility. So now we need to talk about the practical stuff, how to use this combination safely and effectively. Remember that very first hurdle we talked about? Curcumin is fat-soluble. So even with piperine's help, you still need to consume it with a healthy fat. Think olive oil, avocado, coconut milk. These fats act like little transport vehicles that help shuttle the curcumin across the gut wall. It's a critical step. Now for something interesting, the cooking paradox. It's kind of like a good news, bad news situation with heat. A little bit of gentle heat, like simmering in a curry, can actually help make curcumin more soluble in water, which is a good thing. But too much heat, like from a pressure cooker, can actually destroy a big chunk of it. So best practice? Add your turmeric and pepper near the end of the cooking process. It is also really important to be aware of a few other risks. Whole turmeric powder is high in something called oxalates, which can be a problem for people who are prone to kidney stones. And while it is rare, there have been some reports of liver issues with very high-dose, super bioavailable formulas. And finally, high-dose supplements are generally not recommended during pregnancy. And now for the most crucial point.
The very same mechanism that makes piperine so effective, shutting down the body's metabolic filters, can be incredibly dangerous if you're on certain medications. By blocking those enzymes, it can cause drugs for things like blood pressure or immunosuppressants or blood thinners to build up to toxic levels in your body. This part is absolutely non-negotiable. You have to talk to your doctor.
All right, so let's just quickly recap the golden rules here. 1. Curcumin needs its sidekick piperine to actually work. 2. Always pair them with a healthy fat. And 3, the most important one, know the risks and put safety first, especially if you take any prescription meds. And that's really the powerful idea to leave you with. This amazing synergy works by turning your body's natural filtration system off. For absorbing a nutrient from a spice, that's an incredible feature. But when it comes to the carefully calibrated medicines you might rely on, that feature can become a very dangerous bug. Thanks for joining us.